Do you want to know how to write meta titles and descriptions that Google and people love? That's what we're going to cover in this episode of SEO Snacks. SEO Snacks! Hello and welcome to SEO Snacks, bite-sized SEO tips and hacks that you can implement straight away. My name's Janelle, I'm an SEO consultant from ContentQueen, and today I'm going to take you through how I write meta titles and descriptions for SEO. So, as this is called SEO Snacks, snacks are naturally involved, and I've got until the end of my snack to tell you my SEO hack. So let's see what my snack of the week is. And this week's snack is a Harry Potter chocolate frog. All you Harry Potter fans out there will be loving this. Alright, let's get right into it. Oh, it comes with a collector's card. This is going to be a very short episode because look at the size of this thing. So you're here because you probably already know what a meta title and description is. If you don't, check out episode 6. But how do you actually write good meta titles and descriptions? Well, I'm going to take you through how I write them for both commercial pages and also for blogs. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, as always, you need your keyword that you want to target, and you need your web page that you want to optimize and write the meta title and description for. Once you have that, we're ready. If you don't know how to conduct keyword research, make sure you check out my episodes 3 and 4, and that'll show you what you need to do from start to finish. So when writing meta titles and descriptions, you already need the content that you need to write them for. You don't write them first. These are the things that come last. Why? Because they need to accurately describe the content of a web page. So first thing I'm going to do is optimize a web page, Affordable Videographer Wellington, and I'm going to take you through how I did that and how I wrote it. And then I'm going to show you how I optimized a blog post. So let's go. So he is an affordable videographer, and that's the keyword I want him to get found for. This is a commercial page, so anyone typing affordable videographer into Google is probably looking for one, right? So that's the keyword I want to target. His location is Wellington, and his business name is Kisu Creative. So a meta title is 60 characters of length only, or you can go above that, but it's going to get cut off and it'll just show 3 dots. So I've put the keyword at the beginning, which is best practice for a meta title. So affordable videographer, I've put his location, which is Wellington, and I've put that in there because he's location based. I mean, he's probably not wanting to get found for a videographer in Auckland, so therefore I've put his location in there because it's probably important for the user because they want to find someone in their area. And Kisu Creative, I've put that at the end so that his brand name shows up. For the meta description, this is 155 characters in length, and I've basically just summarized what he does. I've included the keyword, even though meta descriptions, Google doesn't actually use it as a ranking factor, but people who are searching, it's important to them. So this just summarizes in one sentence, 155 characters, what people can expect to find on that page and what he does. So I've written affordable videography services with drone footage for weddings and small businesses in Wellington, New Zealand. Get your free quote. So I've put a bit of a CTA at the end of that just to encourage people to click through and they can get a free quote, and it's providing them value there. So now that I know the meta title and description that I'd like to use, I'm going to use this special tool called SEO Mofo. Amazing name, but it's a free tool that I use to see what my meta titles and descriptions could look like in Google. So I'm just going to copy my meta title, and this is just a website called SEO Mofo. If you search it, it'll come up. You paste your meta title in there, and then it shows you down the bottom here what it's going to look like. Isn't that amazing? And I'm going to do the same with my meta description. And what this does is it helps me to work out if my meta description or title is too long. I know that I can change it. And I can just make adjustments. So if I wanted to write affordable Wellington videographer, I could. And it's going to show me what it's going to look like. So now everything fits in there well. I think it's looking good. It's got a call to action and it's got the keywords. Google's going to like this because it's got the keywords, and people are going to like it because it's quite obvious what they're clicking through to, and it accurately summarizes the page. So now I can go and add this metadata to my website. So that's how you do SEO and write meta titles and descriptions for a commercial page. You use your keyword that you want it to get found for, and then you add your location if you're location based. If you're doing international SEO, don't put a location in there. And then I would recommend, if it can fit, putting your brand name in there, because brand is also really important. I'm going to have some more of my chocolate frog. So blog posts are a little bit different from commercial pages because they're usually long tail keywords, which means the keywords multiple words. It's not just affordable videographer, but in this instance, I've written a blog about how to write meta titles and descriptions. That's long. That's pretty much a whole meta title in itself. So I'm going to show you how I do that for blog posts. So how do you write meta titles and descriptions for a blog post? Well, it's very similar to before. I've got my keyword that I want to target, which is how to write meta titles and descriptions. And so I'm just going to make sure that that fits into 60 characters, and I'm going to write a nice meta description that accurately describes the page. So for here, I've come up with the meta title of how to write meta titles and descriptions that Google loves. So that's putting a bit of an emotive sort of spin on it, and it's putting Google in there to make people realize that this is about meta titles and descriptions for Google, just to make it super specific, because then it's going to include more keywords as to what they could be searching in relation to that. So for the meta description, I've written learn how to write meta title tags and meta descriptions that Google and other search engines love, metadata and SEO made simple. So with this one, it's just summarizing what the page is about. It's including other keywords that are related to this topic, and I'm saying that it's made simple so they can see that this is something they can click through to, and they're going to get an accurate, simple, easy to digest summary of how to write meta titles and descriptions. So now let's pump this into SEO mofo and see how it looks, and if we want to make any changes. Maybe it's too long, maybe it's not long enough, and let's see what it's going to look like in search engines and see if we're happy with it. So down here, how to write meta titles and descriptions that Google loves. Yeah, I think that looks good. We could see if we could fit anything else in here, like learn more. Yeah, not too sure about that. Find out more. Yeah, I might add that in just because it fits the space. So in that sense, I'm going to copy this over, and then this is ready to plug into my content management system. If you're using WordPress, you would use something like Yoast SEO to put this in, and if you're using something like Wix or Squarespace, they have their own SEO capabilities, and it's quite easy to find out where they are. Just do a quick Google search and you'll know exactly how to do it. So just to reiterate, 60 characters in length for the meta title, no more, unless you don't mind it being cut off, obviously, and that includes spaces, and 155 characters for the meta description. However, Google isn't guaranteed to use your meta description. Google sometimes just uses whatever it thinks is most relevant, but your meta title will always be used, so make sure it's as good as it can be. Oh, I just hit my mouth on the table. So that's how you write great meta titles and descriptions that both Google and people love. First thing you need to do is find your keyword. You need to have already written your content and know exactly what you're writing your meta title and description for. Then your keyword should go as close to the beginning of the meta title as humanly possible. And you need to take up no more than 60 characters in length, otherwise it's going to get cut off. If it's a commercial page, keyword first, location if necessary, and then your brand name. And if it's a blog, make sure that it's got the keyword at the beginning or the key phrase, and then add a bit of spice onto there to make someone want to click through to it. You could add a date. People like to see that things are relevant, so if you put 2021, just makes people more likely to click through to it. But at the end of the day, it's just about summarizing your page and making people want to click through to it. However, it's also about making sure you use your keywords so that Google knows that your page is relevant to that search term. So thank you so much for watching this episode of SEO Snacks. I hope you found it useful. I've only got one frog leg left, so I better hurry up and finish. If you have any questions or if you'd like to nominate a snack, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Next week I'm going to show you how to use Wix and WordPress to add metadata to your website, so don't miss out. Thank you so much. See you next time. SEO Snacks.